Hey guys, Susanna here, the Good Property Company. I'm chatting to you from a beautiful island called Koh Tao in Thailand. I've been touring Thailand for 6 weeks, but I'm answering some questions that you guys are giving me before I go snorkeling on a boat today, which will be fabulous. This is my third time snorkeling around this island. So, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Priyanka Cordial asked, how do you get profit protection? It's a really good question. It sounds such a simple question, doesn't it? It sounds so basic. It's a really good question. How do you get profit protection in property? Well, the simple answer is you don't, but keep listening because I do have some workarounds for you. You kind of can't get 100% stamped approval, guaranteed, insured profit protection because you're in a capitalist market. And it's the marketplace that speaks, and you're a little boat bobbing up and down on that marketplace. However, I do have some workarounds for you, and I'm going to cover them off with you just now. So, how do you get profit protection for flipping? I want you to do 45 pieces of research. Say you're buying like a 3-bed or 2-bed house, right? A 2-bed terraced house, 2 up, a living room, kitchen room, a dining room down below, 2 bedrooms up above and a bathroom. Right? Dead simple. There are hundreds, if not, well, there'll be thousands of them in your local city. And they'll be in a terrace, and there'll be streets and streets of them probably in that quarter of a mile radius. You do 45 pieces of research. So 5 estate agent opinions. I'm thinking about buying number 1 High Street. It's 2 bedrooms, bathroom, living room, kitchen room, dining room, little strip of garden at the back, bayfront window, terrace Victorian. Job done. What would it be worth when it's done up? And they'll be like, well, we sold number 7, we sold number 13, we sold number 24, we sold 78, So get 5 estate agent opinions. What do you think it'd be worth? White walls, beige carpet. Second, look up 20 sold in the same time period as the marketplace that you're working in. So if your marketplace is flat, you can go back, a few years. If your marketplace is climbing really fast, you want the time period to be really recent. If your marketplace is rotting really fast, you want the time periods to be really recent because you can't afford to go back when prices were higher and fool yourself, okay? And then third, when you are flipping, you always have a plan B. The plan A is I'm going to slip. Plan B is I'm going to rent it out as a single let. Plan C is I'm going to rent it out as a small HMO, 2 bedrooms up front, said bedroom down below, the dining room becomes the living room, and then kitchen is still the kitchen. You could even do 4 bedrooms depending on the sizes, check with your local council, and depending on the licensing requirements, check with your local council. They have everything written out on their website. And then you can do service accommodation, again, depending on the licensing in your local area. So plan A is slip, plan B is rent and refinance because you bought it discounted, didn't you? And you can rent it as single let, multi-let, serviced accommodation. So you've got 3 other routes. Not to exit the deal because you're still going to hold the deal, but to refinance, get your money back out, and then rent out. And then the 4th part of how can I get my profit protection in flitting, you are going to do a fixed price contract with your builder, aren't you? None of this, they gave me a 1-piece paper saying refurb and price. No. I want you to use the Minor Works JCB contract. I want you to have a very specific written builder's spec. And I want you to have an agreed payment plan and 10% retained to snagging so that you don't have a project overrun, okay? I mean, sometimes these things happen. I have had houses where we found dry rot. And so that in itself is a project overrun because the builder wouldn't have seen it beforehand. So generally, you're on a fixed price contract, okay? So that's on flipping. Now, what about how can I guarantee my profit when I'm renting? Everything I've already said about flitting still applies. 45 pieces of research to make sure that when you're going to buy, refurb, refinance and rent out, the second piece, the refinancing piece, actually works because you know what the value is at the end. So just to recap, 5 estate agent opinions, 20 sold, 20 on the market gives you 45 pieces of research. You're pretty likely to have got the valuation correct, okay? Renting, you might do single let, you might do multi-let, you might do service accommodation. If you're going to do single let, again, research. Look at 20, 30, 40 that are sold, that are being rented out right now. You can just look on Rightmove or click on those to rent, and also click on the under offer as well. And are they comparable? Are they in your local area? Search by postcodes at a quarter of a mile, postcodes at half a mile. Do you feel that yours is good enough? As HMO, what are the students' costs at the moment? I mean, students are paying enormous amounts of money because there are all these purpose-built ones and they charge really high prices. So they're quite used to paying high prices. What are professional HMOs? And then finally, serviced accommodation. Again, do your research on AirDNA. AirDNA. It shows you what other Airbnbs are renting for in your local area. So again, before you've even paid out any cash, you've got all of this information. So you're never going to get profit protection. So what you're doing for renting is you're doing as much work as you possibly can to ensure that you feel that you're getting the rent that you need. Second part on profit protection for renting, make sure your properties are in good condition. Like yesterday, today is Sunday, I did a tiny bit of admin because even financial freedom in a beautiful tropical island needs a tiny bit of admin. And I had a tenant move out unexpectedly. So I had my handyman go in and just refresh the apartment and repaint it. I had my cleaner go in and do deep cleans. And this is an apartment I used to manage myself. I'm now handing it over to my rental agent. I emailed them on Sunday just to say, hey, it's ready for you. They moved out unexpectedly. And he texted me yesterday to say, shall we try it at whatever cost? And I was like, can we try for a bit more? And he's like, we're going to try it at this, and then they'll probably end up offering a bit more. He texted me back 4 hours later to say, we are fully booked for viewings today. I'll let you know how it goes. And the reason we're fully booked for viewings is two things. One, it's been repainted and deep cleaned. And two, my photographs are very good quality. So in the marketplace, I'm beating 90%, maybe 90, I don't know, 90% of landlords. So in a tight market for rental anyway, if your product is very good, boom, they've closed their waiting. So they've closed their viewing. They're now putting people on waiting lists. So it means that we're going to get the best quality tenants with the best position, and probably we'll get a bit more rent than we've advertised it for. But most importantly, we're getting very good quality tenants. So ensure your product beats the marketplace average, okay? And then you could use rent protection insurance. I never have, so I can't speak to it. But just if you're a complete beginner, just be aware it does exist. Finally, renting. How can you ensure your profit is protected? Well, it's never totally protected, but have clear processes. Have templates if you're going to do rent collection yourself, or find out what the processes are for your letting agents if they do it. Here are my processes. I use Arthur Online. I still have some properties I manage myself. If the tenants haven't paid, they get automatically emailed, automatically texted. Day 3, Day 6, Day 9. Day 9 is all templates, letter before legal action. Here's so much money. And then Day 12, I do a county court application. If it's a small amount of money, it's 50 quid. If it's a single, it's usually about 80 quid. It can go off a little bit more. And do you know what? I've only ever had to do 2 of them, and I've had thousands of tenants because they see that you mean business by Day 12. Yeah, they've had 3 formal letters. You can explain the process. Look, by Day 12, we will take you to court. At that point, they have to pay your legal fees, so the costs are going up for them. And usually, tenants, I mean, the great majority, 99% of my tenants are lovely people, good, honest, good people, and a pleasure to work with. But, you get 1 or 2%. And by that point, their self-preservation kicks in. They're like, they mean business. I don't want to pay the legal costs, and I certainly don't want a county court judgment. And those 2 that I took to court, they both got county court judgments against them. So that's impaired their credit for the next 7 years. Thus, so the final piece is having very clear, non-emotional, templated debt-chasing letters that kick in fast. Okay? So whilst I can't actually answer the question for you and guarantee you profit protection, I've given you a significant number of sensible workarounds, both for flipping and for letting. so that you can see that this thing is manageable. Oh yeah, finally, when profit protection on lettings, what if a tenant wrecks the joint? Well, I have never had a tenant fully wreck a house, ever. I once had a tenant we're evicting, well, sorry, I can't technically swear it was that tenant, but I'm pretty damn sure it was. I once had a tenant we're evicting push dog poo back through the letterbox. They were a deeply unpleasant human being and we needed them out of our lives fast. And that was really unpleasant, but that's as far as it goes. And I've got these tenants who moved out unexpectedly. They left a bit of a mess. Well, I've got their deposit. And so all you do is you take a personal deposit, of course, and then you do the repair work. And as I said, we've had some painting done. We've had a deep clean done. We've had to move some furniture that they left. But I don't do the inventory myself. I mean, I couldn't, I'm in Thailand, but I wouldn't do the inventory within my business either. I get a third-party person to do the inventory. So it's not you showing the condition of the property, it's a third-party trusted provider. And then you've got the inventory check-in, the inventory check-out, you compare the two, you look at how long the property was with them. So there are some rules around, curtains and carpets and the lifetime. So you can't charge them new for old. You've got to if you had to replace a carpet, you'd be like, well, how long is that carpet allowed to be in that property before you technically have to replace it? And if they've only been in for half of that time, you can only charge them for half. Those are reasonable rules. And then you simply take off the deductions and you return the deposit. Now, occasionally they then put in an appeal to the tenant deposit scheme. Well, that's fair enough. I've got all my invoices, I've got all my paperwork, I've got the check-in deposit, I've got the check-out deposit. It's a black and white closed case and we tend to win those cases. But usually it works because you explain it to them. So it's not guaranteed, profit isn't guaranteed, but you can really have a lot of measures in place to make sure that you're not being taken for a ride. I think that's the easiest way of putting it. So, have a gorgeous day yourself. I am about to jump on a boat in a couple of hours' time after breakfast. I'm going to have breakfast overlooking the sea on the balcony. And then I fly back to Bangkok tomorrow for another week in Bangkok, staying at a gorgeous boutique hotel in Chinatown. It's like something from a 1930s speakeasy. It's gorgeous. If you're thinking about getting into property, please do. If you're worried about protecting your profit, I understand that. That's good news. Take mitigating actions and then still jump in. And finally, can I ask a favor? Could you like and subscribe, please? Because that will help you get my new videos, but it'll also help other people find property channel. And that's really useful. And also have a look at my website. I have everything on there for flipping, for renting, for finding deals, finding investors. You can download packs, you can get property checklists, you can watch on-demand webinars. I've got my amazing 60-day academies and my 101 pack. Whoops, somebody's waking up for breakfast. Right, lots of love. Have a lovely day yourself and good luck to you in property.